Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 304 of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. Joining me on deck tonight is Lucas and Grejio to go over the week that was. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some Last of Us Part 2, finally the PS5. An update on the itch.io bundle, a KF console, a bit of an angry bit for The Last of Us, Donut County, and much, much more. Editing Lucas, let's go!
This is the Aussie Gamers Experience video game podcast. This show is recorded during temperatures in summer that are too hot for dragons, and in winter, colder than my mother-in-law's heart. So join us as we discuss video games as best we can, all while dodging redback spiders, brown snakes, and all those other things that try to hurt, maim, or even kill us. But remember, all we need to do is stay alive long enough to see the release of that next awesome video game. Enjoy the show.
Thanks everyone for tuning in to episode 304 this week. Today is Monday the 15th of June 2020. Greg, how are you, mate?
I'm well, my friend. And yourself?
Having a fun start to the week?
Yeah, look, it's a start to the week. Everyone loves the start to the week, sort of. I mean, it's work, is the start of the week. But then you've got the podcast. We've got the podcast, so that's always the cherry on top of the Monday blues.
That's the highlight for the week, and it's all downhill from here. Yeah. Anyway, Lucas, how are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank you very much. It may be the start of the week for most people, but not for me. I don't start till Wednesday, so I'm still doing quite well on my weekend that you call Monday.
I got some new Switch Joy-Cons today.
Oh, they're actually available?
Yeah, well, I got them.
It sounds like you're dancing around the whole... Did you steal these?
No, I did not steal them. I sent back the ones that I had, and I got replacement ones.
Oh, and they're good? They work?
Yeah, they're spot on. It was good that you actually told me that you can go in and calibrate them. Didn't know you could do that. And yeah, don't move. Just straight as a die. Brilliant.
Okay, all right, nice. But yeah, the quick story behind that is I bought a pair of thumbsticks, which I was going to use to put into Snoogs' Joy-Cons, and he's come round and we're ready to do it. And then what did it take me? Like the best part of an hour to work out where I put these things because they're tiny. I lost them. I thought I'd thrown them in the bin.
It was fine. It was fine to me. Mum come over and brought cakes.
Oh yeah, she had those rock cakes. They're actually. I've actually had quite a few now, and they're actually delicious. Thanks, Mum.
They are brilliant.
But anyway, I'm looking for these thumbsticks. I found them finally. We're like, all right, let's sit down, get my little screwdriver set out, get ready to open them up, and realise that Nintendo have designed their own screws that I don't have a screwdriver for. So we didn't even, after all that mucking around me finding those bloody things, we couldn't even fix your sticks because the screwdriver to open up the Joy-Cons is like a Y shape. I didn't even look into it because I didn't even think. I thought they'd be those star ones, like, the ones that are on everything else.
Yes. That's funny, you actually, when you go and have a look for this Y-shaped screwdriver, it actually comes up that it's a Nintendo screwdriver set.
Yeah, there. So when you buy that design, they're all labelled Nintendo Switch, because I'm pretty sure that's the only thing in the world that uses those stupid not threads, but the head shape. But anyway, so we don't need to do it now because you've got good Joy-Cons.
I have another set to swap out.
You were not kidding, man, because they were shit. I used them when you came over, and they're not just it's horrible to use. They were unusable. Mm-hmm. They were crap. So you've got another pair of shitty ones?
Yeah, I've got another pair here that we're doing not quite as aggressively.
Yeah,
but a similar thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And,
well, that can be the guinea pig set
again. They're neons. It seems to be a big issue with the neon ones. It's weird.
My Switch, I didn't buy the Switch like at launch. I bought the Super Mario Odyssey Special Edition Switch, which a little bit annoyed that the Joy-Cons are just red. They don't have anything to do with Mario. They're just red. But no issues with them at all. They don't have any problems. So that's pretty cool.
All right, well, while we're here, we should give a shout-out to everyone listening live. So we've got A10, Azrael, Gretchen, Luke, that's you, Radicus, Skrill, and The Wraith. Welcome. It's, once again, some very, very well-known names, isn't it?
That's right. Have a look at the picture that Skrill's just put in the chat there. He's got like a kit, which is with all screwdrivers and shit, and it's got the shapes of the screwdrivers that are in there.
Oh, there's one there.
It has it in that kit. Skrill, why didn't you come over? You're only around the corner. The furthest part of the country, but whatever.
In Western Australia, they're called normal screws.
Well, yeah, it probably is. I've got to get myself that kit. That's a really cool looking kit. $25. Nice.
A Bunnings hot deal. Nice. All right. Well, let's jump into this week in gaming, guys. We're going back to 2009 when Ghostbusters, the video game, was released. It was released on the PS3 and the PS2 at the time, which is something I didn't know. I just found out while I was looking through all this. And published by Atari and developed by Terminal Reality.
By Atari? You know what? That's funny you say that. The last Ghostbusters game that I've played was on the Atari. I haven't played any of these newer ones.
No?
No. They've just, I don't know, they just passed me by, I guess. I remember hearing that one of them was rubbish, and then I think I just discarded the rest of them as rubbish. But I know there is a particularly good one. Is that this one you're talking about?
That is this one. This is the one that was just recently released for the PS4. The remaster was released.
Just for the PS4?
I believe it was, because it was originally a PlayStation exclusive. So,
okay.
Yeah. So they remastered it and re-released it again. It's nicely polished up. The original characters are in it. So Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ivan Reitman, is it?
Oh, he's the creator, yeah.
No. What's Spengler? What was his name? Sorry, I've forgotten.
Spengler?
And Ernie. Yeah, who played Spengler?
Who's Spengler?
And Ernie Husband.
Do with the glasses.
Oh, is that his name?
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I know his name, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah, I've gone completely blank.
Oh, right. I didn't know his character's name.
I do apologise.
He's the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids guy, isn't he?
No.
That's Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Oh, that's who I thought you were talking about.
No, not.
Oh, you mean the Ghostbuster with the glasses?
Yeah.
Isn't that Egon?
Yeah.
What do you call him?
Last name's Spengler.
Oh, Egon Spengler. Oh, wow, I'm getting schooled here.
Harold Ramis. That's it.
What was your point about him, or were you just naming everyone?
We were just naming everyone.
So they played. They were all part of the video game as well. They lent their voices to the characters in the game.
Oh, but I guess we should say rest in peace, because Harold has passed, hasn't he?
Harold has passed, yes.
Yeah, rest in peace, buddy. I know that because I have watched the most recent Ghostbusters movie with the ladies, and I think they all did a cameo except for him. He was a statue. And I googled why he wasn't in it. I'm thinking, was there a blow up or a disagreement? And I found out that he'd actually died, which is a good reason why he wasn't there. But yeah,
silver linings, eh?
Well, at least it wasn't a blow up. And I actually happened across some videos of some really nice messages, because there was a massive shit fight between this Harold guy and Bill Murray, because I think Bill Murray was a bit of an arsehole. I think he's known as a bit of an arsehole in that sort of, like in the acting world. And they didn't talk for many, many years, but apparently they sorted out their rubbish just before Harold died. So it was kind of like a nice little ending there.
Yeah. So, one of the things with the game was that Bill Murray actually agreed to come on and reprise his role. He was the first person that was actually signed on to do it. And the only way that he would do it was that if each Ghostbuster had equal screen time. So the game itself, you play an apprentice Ghostbuster, so to speak, and you've got the four guys training you.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. So it's a bit of fun. It's
actually, you know, That's another little fact that I know about the Ghostbusters movie is I think going back to the original ones, they brought in that, I don't know his name, the African dude.
Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, he had like bugger all lines, like they gave him shit, and he was really disappointed by that. And that might have been, well, is he in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, that might have been his reason for that, because in the movies they gave him shit, and he probably wanted to stick up for him a bit there. But yeah, there's a little bit of trivia. Might not know their names, but I know a little bit about the history from watching a Netflix series, actually.
Very nice. Unfortunately, Sigourney Weaver's not in the game. She was approached to reprise her role, but originally turned it down, then found out that Bill Murray was involved in it. And once she found out that Bill Murray was involved in it, she tried to come back to it. But what they'd done is they'd rewritten the script for the game, and the character that is Murray's or Venkman's love interest was actually played by Alyssa Milano.
Ooh.
So there's some big names in this game.
Not a bad swap there.
So yeah, it's they call it a first person behind view. It's a weird sort of, I'd call it more third person.
That sounds like third person to me.
Yeah. So it's a shooter. Pretty much you go in, you take down ghosts, and you go through and do it. It's nothing really exciting.
I thought the good one was the top-down twin-stick shooter one. Is that one rubbish?
I couldn't tell you about a top-down one.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not played any of them, so I don't know.
No worries. Well, that was This Week in Gaming from 2009. So, boys, let's start the show. All right. Do you want to start off with the big news for the week? Or not the big news, sorry, the big game for the week? Or should I start off with something a little bit lower down the tree?
Oh, mate, you choose. You've got the steering wheel. I'm happy to go any direction.
All right. I'll give an update on the itch.io bundle for the Black Lives Matter movement that's going on worldwide at the moment. So last week we reported on itch.io jumping on board and throwing a whole lot of information out there for raising money for racial justice and equality. And I'm just give me 2 seconds. NAACP, Legal Defence and Education Fund, and the Community Bail Fund is where all this money was going. There is currently, as we record, there is 20 hours left to get this bundle. So if you're listening to this on release day, I'm sorry, it's already gone. But those listening live, if you haven't had a look at it yet, head on over. There's a link in the chat to go and have a look at it. The goal was for $5 million. As it sits now, there is 681,576 contributors. The top contributor, top contribution, was $5,000. This is all in US. They have raised 6.978 million. So the better part of 7 mil.
Well, they only wanted one, so how about share a bit my way, eh?
No, they wanted 5.
Oh, 5, was it? Oh, well.
Yeah, so they've got an extra 2.
Still sling a bit my way then, whatever.
There is currently 1,704 items in this bundle.
But they're not all games that we should sort of mention.
They're not all games. There is some absolute gems. So that's why this is in the Game Talk section, because I've been rummaging. They're currently updating a few things. There is an itch launcher, and there'll be a way to dump all of the games into the launcher, because at the moment it's a little bit cumbersome. You've got to go to a page, click on it to download it, and then it'll come up in your launcher. Then you go into your launcher and then you download it there. And it's very cumbersome to go through and have a look at. But there's going to be a way where they can dump everything into it. There's games, there's experiences, there's walking simulators, there's tools, there's stupid little things, which I'll get to one in particular very shortly, and some
assets. There's a lot of game assets in there too. So if you're making your own game and stuff like that, that's one thing that I thought was really good. People actually sharing the assets that they've used and details on how to tweak them, and pretty much from the stuff that I've had a look at, there's a lot of information in there where you could technically become an indie game developer just with the information that's given. So it's really quite good and good to see. But one of the stupid things that's in it, Desktop Goose. Yeah.
Now, Desktop Goose, I've had running in the background pretty much every day since I've got it. I've just let him go. And just because it's just the little noises and whatnot that he makes, it's just kind of breaks, the stress of the day up by having this little goose sit there and honk at you. It honks at you as just like it does from the Untitled Goose Game. He walks around and slaps his feet as he wanders around the screen. If you piss him off, he'll take your pointer, and he drags memes out from the side of the screen to just leave there. And I must admit that I may have been in a meeting with people that I work with last week on Skype and got the question, is there a goose in the background? What's that honking noise? My reply was, that's just something I don't really want to talk about right now. So, yeah, get over, have a look. I'm still digging through. I've played a couple of games. I gave Celeste a run, which I don't understand. I haven't played enough of it to understand why it got such praise that it did, but it's an 8-bit platformer, and me with 8-bitty type stuff and a platformer thrown in as well. It's just not
like your personal hell.
It's a little bit up there. But I'm pushing through to see if the story grabs me or not. So there's that one. There's a couple of others I've been playing with. So as I get a bit more, because it is very overwhelming with that many titles to have a look through, I'll be keeping an eye over them over the coming weeks and months ahead as I get into it. Luke, have you played any of them? I know you picked up the deal as well.
No, not properly. I did launch a couple just to see how they looked and how they played, but no, not. There was one that I grabbed because I thought of Grejio when I saw it. It was a racing game with no wheels, so it was really weird, but I couldn't actually get it to start a game because it looked like it was online only, which I think is a silly idea for an indie game because there was nobody playing and I couldn't actually get a game. But I wanted to see, what the hell is this all about? Well, how do you drive a car with no wheels? And they literally have no wheels. It's just wheel arches there that are empty. So I can't really tell you how it plays because it didn't load up, but I got the menu.
What's it called?
No, I don't remember. But I'll bring up the launcher. There was a koala in the driver's seat or passenger seat or something, and then there's a message on the back of the window, the back windscreen there, that says, "You might have noticed the koala. We literally put that there just so we could make the joke. He's got the right
qualifications.
He has the right qualifications." Thanks for stealing my line there. Fine, you do it. You tell the story then.
I thought you were struggling to remember what it was.
Yeah, but editing Lucas fixes that, mate.
Oh, well, look, see, I've helped editing Lucas out.
All right, so real interesting title, and I think I may have accidentally said it anyway. It's called No Wheels Racing.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a hard one to remember.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I had a look at Forever Lost, which is it's one of those games where I thought it was going to be like a 3D sort of suspenseful horror. However, it's one of those ones where it's all static images and you click to the left and it turns. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of them. Yeah. And you just point and click stuff and all that. But I only played it for a couple of minutes just to see how it goes. But that's all I've tried, I think. I've selected a few and I've downloaded a few. Like there's that look interesting. I tried Desktop Goose. There's Last Night, Rogue Rider, Waiting for the Loop, Spectres of the Cold, Philo Condutor, Transmission Burst. I've selected a few, but I haven't tried them yet. I haven't had a chance. But there's quite a few in there that look good. But for, what is it?
I've got one I want to try called Throw Cubes into Brick Towers to Collapse Them. I wonder what that's about.
That sounds fun. I reckon it's got something to do with throwing cubes into a brick tower to collapse them. Similar title to No Wheels Racing. Very descriptive.
So I'm looking at the website for No Wheels Racing, right? There's no way you can take this seriously because one, it's just full of wheel puns. Like it's really fun. Really, it's a fun game. And then they've got the purchase price, which says buy now for $420 or more. What? It literally says, in order to download this masterpiece, you must purchase it at or above the minimum price of $420.
Oh man, they've given me a DRM free version. I'll sell it to you for 200.
So yeah, it's I see the drivers. There's the qualified driver and the silent protagonist. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially, it's a bit like what's the what's that racing game called? I can't think of it. It's all right. It's gone. It doesn't matter. It's not important. All right, keep going.
All right. We're doing well, aren't we?
Yeah, totally. I've forgotten what the game is.
I don't care. I'm just as screwed tonight for some reason. But anyway, let's keep going. What else are we doing?
Well, Luke, tell us about Donut County.
Right, Donut County was on sale on the Nintendo Switch, and I've had my eye on this game for a little while, even before it was released. It's another one of these IO games, on your phone. I assume it's got something to do with itch.io, but there's a whole bunch of IO games on your phone.
Yeah.
You can get Hole.io, you can get Slither.io, all of those games. Anyway, there's a game called Hole.io, and it's basically you are a hole. And
you got to get bigger. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. You get bigger, and that's it. Basically, the game on the phone is kind of like a death match where you've got to swallow as much stuff, and the biggest hole at the end of the game wins, and you can swallow other holes. Multiplayer game. Well, this one, Donut County, is essentially that, but put into like a single player campaign, and it's really weird. It has a story, but after sort of reading through the first couple of lines at the beginning of the game, it really sort of starts to just drag, because the story goes like there's way too much text. It's boring. It's not intriguing. It's stupid. And so I just ended up spamming through all of the dialogue just to play the game. And the game's actually quite fun. And at first, it just feels like, oh my God, is this all this is going to be? It's just you move the hole on the ground over an object. The object falls through the hole, and then your hole gets a little bit bigger. And then you got to collect, you got to swallow up all the smaller items so that you can then upgrade to the bigger ones. And I'm thinking, oh, this is just going to be this over and over. But then it gets kind of like a little bit more tricky and a little bit more puzzly as you go through the levels, and it'll get to a point where you'll fill up with water because there's water on the map, and you can nothing will fall through the hole because it just floats on the surface. But then I found out that if you go across to where there's a bird, the bird will drink the water out of the hole, and then you're good to go again. And yeah, there's a few sort of like puzzle elements where you need to think outside the box on how to progress in making your hole bigger. This sounds really funny. Just a couple more fingers. That's all. It's just, yeah. And yeah, that's the game. Yeah, just cut your fingernails.
That's the pro tip.
But that's the game. That's the game. I've only played like probably about 45 to an hour of it, but it's a pretty cool game for I think it was about $7 on the Switch. Thereabouts anyway, so that's a fun little game.
It's been on sale because it's at 18 now.
Oh yeah, no, it was on sale, but it's finished already, has it?
Yeah, I just had a look. It said it was $18.
Oh, I sure as hell did not pay $18, and wouldn't, mind you. But for the $5 to $7 that I did pay, not bad little game for the Switch, a little time killer.
Good stuff. Gretch, you and I have been playing some Minecraft this week. It's just sort of the usual. Have you done anything new you want to report on there?
No, I've just been smashing the realm. Like I said the other week, I got my base, the beginnings of my base finalized in the design, so I've been working on getting that done. But first I actually had to get ready because I haven't been in the realm for like ages and I don't have anything. So, I've been just smashing that. That's all. Smashing. So.
No worries. Well, my boys, I had a jump on Call of Duty the other night. I've actually played it a few times since Season 4 has kicked off. And, God, that's getting sweaty. Like, bad sweaty. There's more and more, like there was a time there where you'd jump on, and being that I'm playing on PS4, you'd jump on and everyone in the lobby would be PS4. You can tell people are starting to, walk, like get away from it now, because there's more and more mixed lobbies now where you've got everything sort of thrown in to try and get it. The lag has been absolutely terrible for me, and not just me, because the other people in the lobby have been screaming out about it across the game chat as well. And I really thought they would have fixed a lot of that for Season 4. Haven't played the new stuff. Haven't played Warzone. Apparently there's a whole lot of updates on that. Are any of you guys interested to jump in it, or?
I do want to just try it out a bit, but I think I'd prefer to just do some private matches just to see all the new stuff rather than going back into competitive or multiplayer stuff. I don't know. It's just this game, it got to a point where even in a match where I'll do well and win, I still feel frustrated with it for some reason. I don't know why. It's just I think I've played too much of it and got sort of to the end of my tether. Like I got my fill of it, I got my money's worth out of that game, and I enjoyed the time that I've spent in it. But I think it's just sort of coming to a head at the moment.
Run its course.
That's it. Really, I've just sort of had enough of it. But I'm intrigued to see the new stuff because there's a couple of good new maps. Radicus has been talking about it in the Discord. He seems to think they're good maps, good new maps, medium-sized ones. So, I do want to give it a try. I absolutely will. I've still got it installed. So
yeah,
we can.
Good stuff. Well, yeah, I've reinstalled an old favourite, so I'll get onto that. Well, might as well start on it now. My new Xbox got here on the weekend.
Oh yeah, you've got the Cyberpunk Xbox One X, haven't you?
I do. It turned up on Friday. I have done an unboxing of it. I've just got to, make it look pretty, so I'm going to try and take my head out of it as much as possible. It's very nice.
Yeah, and it makes fancy noises.
It does. It makes fancy noises when it turns on and turns off. It's got I don't have a 1X. Does yours have an extra LED on the front face next to the on button, like next to the X?
No, just the X. Just the X, the power button. That's the only light.
Yeah, this one's got another one a little bit further down. It's exceptionally well made. There's lots of tiny little detail in it. Detail from it kind of looks worn, like a worn robot would look, which I think is pretty cool. And it comes with a nice sturdy stand and whatnot. So it's currently standing next to me on the desk, standing upright, and slowly but surely, because it's still running on Wi-Fi, I haven't plugged it into the network, but it's downloading The Division 2.
Ah, right. That's the thing with these special edition Xboxes is that it's not just cosmetics. They actually add stuff like the different sound effect when you turn it on and off. Yours has got an extra light on there as well. That's what I like, That makes it almost worthwhile getting rid of your old one and getting one of these fancy new ones because it's one thing to change the colour or put a print on it or something like that, but going the extra mile and changing the sound effects of it and adding extra little bits and pieces, that's something nice. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. It's one thing I actually wanted to bring up too. There's no codes in it. There's so how you'd get your Game Pass Ultimate code, like a test code.
Oh yeah,
and for for a 1 month pass or whatever, and the code for Cyberpunk, there's not actually a physical code anymore. So when I've logged on, and first off, I could set it up from my phone. I don't know how long this has been a thing, but I could use the QR scanner on my phone and log into my game, my Xbox app on my phone, and set all my settings that are my generic settings from my other Xbox got put straight onto this one.
Oh, that's news to me. I didn't know that.
My login, everything. So I didn't actually have to put my password or anything in. I didn't have to type anything in on the actual Xbox itself.
Oh, I like that. That's good. That's new. That didn't do that when I got my X.
Oh. No, so it is only relatively new.
Well, unless,
it must be a new software thing.
How did you find out about it?
What's that?
That you could do that. How did you find out about that?
Well, when you connect it to your network and it starts, time for update. So you do your update first, and then you've got login details after that. But while it's updating, it says that you can either set up the account after the update's finished, or scan this with this code. So you scan it, it takes you to the Microsoft website. You then punch this code in that's on the screen, and it's a 6-digit code, and then it just says, yeah, we've got all your settings. Once the update's done, we'll apply those settings. You come back. So the update gets done. The settings are all there. It comes up and says, do you want to sign in as Snoogs? And it says, scan this again. So you scan it again, and then you don't have to put your password or anything in there. It just links everything back to
yeah, mine didn't do that.
Your Microsoft account. Absolutely brilliant. And the 1 month of Game Pass Ultimate, it just comes up and says, this console comes with 1 month of 1 month of Ultimate. Do you want to claim? Claim, yes, please. And then it comes down to the next one. Cyberpunk 2077 Digital Deluxe Edition. Do you want to claim? Claim. Yep. And it just goes into my library as a pre-order, waiting for download.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. No need to put anything on it. But it's, so I've had fun playing with that, setting it all up, and it does look good. I must admit, I was very impressed. Well, I am very impressed, I should say. I was a bit worried when I took there's like on the box. Do you remember when I got my PlayStation Destiny, my PS4 Pro?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I got it home, and the only thing that was Destiny on it was the outside case of the box.
Yep.
Well, yeah, the outside case come off, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then everything was still all Cyberpunk underneath it. But yeah, absolutely mint. Good stuff. Last bit of gaming related stuff this week. I have now finished The Last of Us Part 2. I finished it just after last week's show. It took me about another two and a bit hours to finish once we'd done with the show last week. Our review is live over on www.thehxp.com. Make sure you get over there and check it out. Luke, I'll let you take it away. We can talk some more about it this week.
All right. I've finished the game. I finished it last week, and I'm halfway through playing it again. Yep. But there's a lot of things that have come out. Actually, going back to what I said last week, this is going to be absolutely tall poppy syndrome. And that's exactly what's happening. There are a lot of people out there just putting out videos and reviews saying that this is, I did not enjoy this at all, and, all that sort of garbage. It's all clickbait. If you're saying that, then you're lying. There is no way that you can play this game and say I didn't enjoy any of it. If you enjoyed the first game, you're going to enjoy the second one. All right, but there's been a lot of criticism as well floating around there saying that they haven't done much to advance the game beyond the first game. Look, yeah, you could probably take that as a fair comment, but I think that's a positive at the same time, right? So, yeah, okay, they haven't added a whole bunch of shit. The weapons are all the same generally. You've got the same gear, all right? So, like your typical pistol with a magazine, your six-shooter, your rifle, your shotgun, and the rest of them. It's all pretty much the same from the first game. Mm-hmm. However, there's a lot to be said about familiarity as well. The controls are very much the same as the first game. They've added a couple of new things where you can go prone now, which is nice. It's a nice new addition. You can also squeeze through tight spaces, which is good for getting away from enemies and stuff like that. That wasn't in the first one. So there's a couple of new things to it, but they haven't gone crazy. And I am actually quite happy they didn't do that, because it still feels very much like a continuation of the original game. It's not, they're blowing it out of the water and it's a completely different game.
Well, that's exactly right. Like, people need to understand, though, this game is set a world that is ravaged by this virus, which is the cordyceps fungus. Cordyceps virus, yes. And so the world is ravaged by it. It's 5 years later, the world's still ravaged by it. You're still scraping together to get everything. It's not like, it's 20 years down the track where there's been all these advancements. Pretty much humanity is just trying to survive. And yeah. I like that, you loved the first game.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, but it took me a long time to love it. So it was one that once I played it once, I've now played it 3 times. But it's a good continuation. The story feels right. The world that it's set in, it feels like it's 5 years later. It feels like life has gone on for 5 years, so we know what to expect and what's coming for you, so to speak.
Yeah, but so essentially what I think about what some people are looking at it as a negative is that it still feels like The Last of Us. This doesn't feel like a disjointed sequel. This feels like you can finish The Last of Us 1 and then go straight to The Last of Us Part 2, and just with that that muscle memory alone, you'll continue on with the control scheme without any problems at all, because it doesn't deviate from the overall gameplay. It is very similar to the original. And A10 in the chat says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's exactly what Naughty Dog have done. They've kept it very, very structured like the first game. Now, the story, that sort of stuff takes a pretty dark turn. This one is very much a story of revenge and hate, and that plays out quite well, but very different, a stark contrast to the first one. There's a lot of things in the game that have been spoiled. I actually thought about this the other day because I'd finished the game. And I thought, you know what, I still don't even know what these spoilers are. I can actually go and have a look and see what they were. And it was actually quite interesting. The spoilers that are out there, although accurate, they don't tell the full story. Like they're
accurate, but very vague.
Yeah, like they're very out of context. They don't give you the full picture, which is pretty good. So if anybody listening feels like they've had the game spoiled, no, you haven't. No, not with the spoilers that I saw that were apparently leaked out there. But it's very well worth playing. And there are also some reviews out there that will talk around certain topics, right? Because we're not allowed to talk about them until release day. And they say that there's a section of the game that occurs that they just disagreed with and thought that it was sort of pointless. But the thing that I put forward to those people, and I know this is vague and I apologise for that, but hopefully this is easy enough to kind of understand. These people that are talking about these weird sections of gameplay and Snoogs, you suggested it to me the other day. You think that this person I'm talking about didn't actually finish the game. And when you said that, I thought, you know what? That may actually explain why they didn't like that section of game if they didn't finish it, because they haven't been able to put all the pieces together for it to make sense.
And that's one of the things, like, it's trying to stay vague again, so I do apologise, but I know the bit that they were playing about, or that they've spoken about, and I understand what they were saying, because there were questions asked, but those questions are answered.
Yeah.
And, and I'm not talking about it just being answered at the end. It's answered well before that. So it's generally one of those things that the story to a lot of people feels long. Luke and I pretty much, we're on par at around that 25-hour mark.
Yeah.
To finish it on our first playthrough. And so I think I had a few less hours in because I went probably a little too brutal in some parts of it. I enjoyed the brutality more than I probably should have, but the reasoning behind that was because I felt, and the way that the game made me feel, it was necessary, and it was necessary, and because I felt that it was necessary, I flat out enjoyed it. Call me sick, call me twisted, whatever. I enjoyed the brutality and what I was doing on screen. And then, as the story progresses, your range of emotions that this game gave me, and the review that I wrote was probably one of the hardest ones that I've actually put together. But I went through, there were parts where my wife, she sat next to me for most of it. She was watching her own show and doing her own thing because gaming just doesn't interest her. She doesn't get it. And that's fine. And there would be times where she would just be looking at me because I was just sitting there stunned. There were parts that I had smiles on my face, parts that I had tears in my eyes. It's a well-rounded game and a suitable suitable sequel.
Yeah. But anyway, my review will be out on Friday, if you could call it a review. Mm-hmm. I'm going to call it an anti-review. That's what my video is. It's an anti-review. So that will be available on Friday. I think, was it 2? Was it 2 o'clock? I think the embargo's up. By the time everyone's listening to this, it'll be live. For those in the chat, it'll be Friday afternoon. I think it was around 2. Yeah, something like that. But anyway, it'll be available. If you want to go watch that video, go ahead. It won't spoil anything for you. If anything, it'll show you a couple of clips of areas that are very deep into the game, but doesn't actually show anything. I've been very careful with the editing not to actually actually spoil anything other than a couple of visuals. So you may recognise some of the things, but nothing's given away, I guess. But anyway, just you'll see. And if you don't want to watch it, then well, good. That's fine with me.
Well, anyone in the chat, if you've got any questions about it, ask away. And while anyone's typing, if they've got anything, if you got anything, Greg, or you got any thoughts? Have you read any other reviews? I know this isn't high up on your list, but you enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, look, I haven't looked at any of the reviews, but I was with Luke last week. We knew it was coming, and I can see why some people might be disappointed with the approach they've taken with making it so similar. I can appreciate that, but whether that really deserves panning a game over it, I don't think that's fair. Also, to say that you don't, and I'm with Lucas with saying you're a liar if you cannot find a single redeeming feature about this game. Like, I haven't played it, but I'm going to, from the way you guys have talked about it, it has to be at least something.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to play the game and then go, oh no, I didn't like it, that's fine. You're allowed to not like it.
Exactly.
You should be, if you're doing a proper review, you should be able to find some redeeming qualities to say, hey, this is what they did do well. And to be fair, whether you like it or not, the fact that they've kept that continuity of control and the ability to just progress from one game to the other, that regardless of whether you like that or not, it's still a redeeming quality where they've thought about the fan base and the people who really enjoy it and really love this game, and is doing a bit of fan service to them. So screw those people. Like they're just being harsh for the sake of being harsh. And I don't think you can call yourself a reviewer if you give something, you pan it purely because you don't like it, or because you just don't like it. That's not a good excuse to review something badly.
Yeah,
you have to look past your own biases.
My point is with that, if you're saying that I didn't enjoy anything about this game, my problem there is I don't believe it. I believe that comment is purely there for the media side of things, for the clickbait. Like, I know for a fact that the Wraith, he's not really into The Last of Us. But I'm sure he can understand that it's a good game. It just doesn't float his boat by the gameplay. He's not really into stealth. If you're not into stealth, then you're probably not going to be a massive fan of The Last of Us. But I'm sure you could play it and go, yeah, that was all right. Not bad.
Yeah.
You're not going to go, oh, that was rubbish. That was an absolute painful trip. It's just, oh my God, it's just too overboard. But just a quick mention on the performance of the game. I did a little bit of research today. And on the PlayStation 4 Pro, it runs at an almost perfect 30 frames 1440p. It does drop couple of frames here and there, specifically around water. Unfortunately, there is a lot of fucking water in the game. So there are
around the moving water sections, isn't it?
Yeah, so it will drop a little bit, all right? But then also keep in mind, if you just got a normal PlayStation 4, not a Pro, it runs even better, actually. It is a lower resolution, it's 1080p, but it maintains 30 frames a lot better than the Pro does at 1440p. So it actually runs really well. The Wraith, is there a performance mode? No, it's just that's the mode you play it in. So there's no performance mode versus visual mode. That's now anyway. I don't know if that's going to change at launch. There is going to be a patch on launch day, which is going to add a couple of things and address a couple of bugs. But at present, no, there's no changing the modes for the Pro or anything like that. But yeah, so it runs really well, and also there's no cutback for the standard PS4 version. All right, so the games are identical, because some games will remove like some foliage, or there might be some assets that are missing in the lower version, lower spec. No, that's not the case here. Both games are identical, just the resolution. Literally, the resolution is the only difference. And no, it's not too choppy at all. As I just said, it's almost flawlessly 30 frames throughout the whole game.
Very sexy.
And you guys, if you guys know me well enough, you know I am a frame rate Nazi when it comes to it. I will whinge about the slightest shit, but the deviations from 30 is minimal. Obviously, I would much prefer a 60 frames game, and I would have loved there to be a performance mode, run it at 1080p, 60 frames. That would be great. I would love that better, but that's not there. But what they have provided was good. You know, it wasn't a man-eater situation where the frames dropped down to like 12 when you're in a fight. There was nothing like that. Nothing terrible.
And Radicus has asked this question as well. Do I need to have finished the first one?
Yes.
Simple answer is yes. You can play the second without playing the first. It does give you a bit of a... Well, you can do it. The problem is, I think you won't get the message.
You won't appreciate it nearly as much if you don't play the first game. Like you said, yeah, I think you'll get the gist of what's going on. But there are so many moments in The Last of Us Part 2 where it triggered memories from the first game. I'm like, oh, that's that part. Okay, I know what they were referring to there, or something like that. Where if you haven't finished the first one, then you're not going to have that experience. I don't think it's going to be as hard hitting, as impressive. But in saying that as well, and I do address this in my video that's coming out on Friday, if you did play the first one all the way through, but you didn't really think too much of it, I'm not one to say play the second one anyway. I mean, if the first one wasn't your thing, the second one won't be.
If the first one, if you got a little bit turned in the first one as well, you know, whether it be by the style or even, you know, the violence, stay away. It's, you know, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. It is exceptionally it's brutal.
I'm actually quite surprised that there were no issues in getting this game rated in Australia.
Yeah, well, they didn't. They didn't get morphine to fix you up. That's why.
Well, yeah, but the one of the most the biggest reasons why games get refused classification in Australia is the use of drugs for enhancement, and that's exactly what this game does. You get, well, they call them supplements, but they are pills, and they look like pills, and you take them to upgrade your abilities, exactly like in the first game.
That's vitamins, mate.
How the fuck does that get allowed? But
because they're vitamins.
But you can't.
Supplements. You get them from a health store.
Oh, there's some blood. I want some of these vitamins. But at the same time, it makes me think. Ellie finds a handful of pills that aren't in a bottle. They are just sitting on the bench, and she grabs and goes, "Yeah, I'll take them. They'll make me hear better."
Yeah.
You don't even know what it is.
I can hear things better with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
Like the sound of my teeth.
It is 18 plus. It is very well worth of that title and or that rating, I should say. And yeah, keep an eye out, because once it releases, I really want to stream it and see about getting some, you know, people that are sort of and ahhing and see what they think as they watch it with someone else.
Tough game to stream, though. Tough game to stream. I don't think anybody would really want to watch it, really. If they're not interested and don't care about it being spoiled, would they watch a stream? And if they are interested and want to play it, then would they watch a stream? That was my thing with it.
Yeah, this is true, but I'll still give it a crack.
Look, it's just one of those games. I don't think anybody can recommend it, because I feel like if I think you'll enjoy it, I think you should know that you'll enjoy it. I don't know. It's a bizarre thing. I don't know. I think I nailed it in my review. Just watch that when it comes out. I'm not going to explain it again. I'm confused myself now.
I reckon there is a market for streaming it, because I tell you right now, if streaming had been more readily available when the first one came out, like I probably wouldn't have played it, because my wife would have watched it. Someone else play it. The whole reason that I played it was because my wife wanted to watch the game and didn't want to play it herself. She's like, "This is not the game that I think that I'm good enough to play. I want you to play it so I can watch it." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." But then I played it and I was like, "Oh man, this is an amazing game." So yeah, I think there's still people out there that would watch it, because they're in that same category of they like the story, they just don't want to be distracted by playing it.
Anyway, all right, I think we've rambled on enough about that. It's a good topic, but
I think so.
I suppose we've got other things to talk about if we must.
Yes, we can round up our gaming talk for the week there. So if anyone does have any questions, the review is out. Lucas's review is Friday. Friday is the release date, which is the 19th. Off the top of my head. Yep.
And we're going to do a spoiler review. We're going to do a spoiler cast as well soon.
We are, because the two of us have gotten together face to face once and blurted. So we need to put that on record, I think.
Yeah, so it'll be for people that have played the game and want to hear discussions on the whole game, including the biggest possible spoilers. So it's not going to be for people that haven't played it yet. That's what this is, what we've just done. But anyway, all right.
All right, cool. Let's get on to the news items. I would sort of build up to this news, but screw it. We're here. The PlayStation 5 has been revealed.
It has. We've seen it. We know what it looks like now.
We've seen it. We know what it is. It is a bold design. It is something completely different. The meme police have been out in full force and showing everyone their wares, which I absolutely loved and laughed at. It was brilliant. It's a big black and white tower. Oozes futuristic.
You know what I thought when this was finally unveiled and I saw it? I thought, finally. The amount of years where I have seen the lead up to console releases and you see countless private renders by fans and they look amazing. You're like, all these futuristic designs and you're like, it's never going to look like that. And then they announce like the PS4 and it just looks like a black box. The PS3 was sort of the same. It was sort of a little bit fancy, but not really. It was a glossy black box, and it's always kind of a little bit of a letdown because the fan renders are always so cool looking. And then this one, the PS5 gets announced, and I look at that and go, finally, something that looks like a fan render of a console. This actually looks cool. I like it. I really do. It's not drab and boring. I think they've taken a massive risk with something like this because it's not your typical box that you would put next to your TV. But this fucking PS5 says, hey, you've just walked into this person's house. Have a look at what this fucking thing is right here. Yeah. It's an eye catcher. People are going to walk in and go, what's that thing?
Yeah, it's a premium console, and it looks like a premium console. And while we still have, in the grand scheme of things, we still have very little detail about it.
Yeah.
We have no detail. We don't have a lot of detail about backwards compat. We don't have a lot of and there was one thing that was said in the showcase about the backwards compatible. The guy from Sony said that they believe in the new, in the generational leap, something along those sorts of lines. So that concerns me about backwards compatibility. Backwards compatibility for me personally is a non-issue. I believe in the generational leap. If I go and fork out money for a new console, I want to play games at the new resolution, the top of the tree. I don't want to go and grab one of my old titles and put it in there at the start. Maybe for nostalgia down the line, maybe. I've only done it. The only time I've done it with the Xbox, Luke, has been with you when you've come over. But
yeah, but
I want that generational leap. But I know compatibility is a big thing.
Yeah, but the reason why it's a big thing, I understand what you're saying. You want to move forward to the fancy new games. But the thing is, the thing that I think of is for convenience. So say, for example, towards the beginning of a generation, there's fuck all games out, mate. There might be the launch titles, you got them, whatever. But, there are games that are out right now that I want to be able to play on my next console. So say, for example, I want to play Call of Duty again. We want to do a Call of Duty night. I don't want to have to go and... I don't want to... I might not like the new one. I want to play Modern Warfare. I don't want to go and get my old console and set that up specifically so I can play that one with everything. How bloody good would it be if you could just go, you've still got the PS4, I've got the PS5, we'll play together still. These are important things that make customers happy. And it's not going to be, not everyone, there's yourself who's just, I don't give a fuck, I just want the new stuff. That's fine. But me, if they say that your PS4 games are going to just straight in there and they're going to work, I'm like, that's good. That's really good. And if I might not use it every day, but on the occasion where I want to, it's easy. I don't have to go and get the old one and set it up or whatever. It's just easy to do. And making it cross-generation as well. So I can play Call of Duty on my PS5 with you on your PS4 if you know, whatever, if you didn't have one or whatever. I think that's magic.
It honors your investment into that company.
Yeah, you're not starting again.
Yeah. That's literally what backwards compatibility gives you. Even if you don't utilize it to its maximum potential, it's still the fact that they are acknowledging that you've plowed a large amount of your money into the last generation. Why should that all be just rendered useless now that you've got a new console?
No, 100%. But we don't have the full information on that, whether it's, Cerny sort of alluded to it that it was going to be a thing, but then, we still haven't got 100% clarification on it. There's no detail about PSVR as yet, which will be a big thing because a lot of people have PSVR and it has been very much underutilized. There's a lot of stuff out there, but there's not a lot of substance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but look, I think it's important because when the PS4 came out, I nearly platinumed Resogun. Resogun. And do you know why? Because it was there was nothing. That's all I had. It was the first PS Plus game that came out. I didn't have anything else. I don't have anything else to play. Who wants to spend $800, which is what I'm guessing it's going to cost, to go home and play one indie title on the fucking thing? Why would you buy on day one? You wouldn't. I did because I'm a dickhead. But if I buy the new PS5 and I can go and slot my old games in and maybe play them at a higher resolution with a bit more frames, well, fuck yeah, I'm buying the PS5. 100%. I'll play the old games until the cool shit comes out because it'll play them better. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's the draw card for back compat. It doesn't need to be back compat all the way to the PS1. That'd be great. It doesn't need to be, but at least the generation before. Come on.
Yep. Well, I think we're at a point where, from the point of a consumer, it's a must. And with what the other side of the fence being Xbox is doing, backwards compatibility to the PS4 at least is a must. So you've got that sort of there. Another thing that I actually would prefer, games that that are out sort of now or later this year, if you buy them on the PS4, then that will carry over to the PS5 version.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Having to double buy things.
There are some games that are doing that already, but yeah.
All right. Well,
I've only heard it confirmed on the Xbox, not on the 5. That's what I mean.
I
think it was the newest Madden. If you buy that, you'll get a digital copy of the next gen.
I don't think that's up to Sony. I don't think that's up to them. I think that's totally on the devs. I think they can do what they want with that because they can give away free copies if they want.
Yeah, I know they've done it.
2077's doing it. I know on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing it on the PlayStation.
But before we move on to the games that were announced, just another mention on the console itself. Now, another sort of nitpick that some people have been pointing out on the intranet is the disk drive and how on the disk version it looks like an afterthought, and that the diskless one looks a lot better. Yeah, look, I understand that symmetry is always favoured. I like symmetry. But look, that's just the design of the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually prefer the disc one. I like the way that the disc is it still keeps the lines. It gives it, especially when it's laying, not when it's standing upright, when it's laying on its side or flat on, whatever you can call it. I like the lines that it gives it.
Well, that's actually a good point. Radicus has said it's only because it's white. If it was a black version, it would be hidden. It wouldn't stand out as much. The fact that there is a bit of a bulge. I think it would have looked better if that bulge wasn't there and the slot was in the middle there. But there's obviously a reason for it. Also, people have been talking about the size. It's actually quite a tall unit. It's gone for height rather than width because it's not quite twice the height, but it's quite a bit taller than the Series X. But the Series X is a bit of a chode of a thing. It's a little fatty as well. But look, I don't see that being a particular issue. And I'm thinking that's probably why the design was favoured towards it being a stand upright thing. But then again, I think that standing design probably aids heat dispersion as well. Whereas if you lay down a console like that, the heat just hits the roof of one of those sides. So I'm going to suggest that it's probably going to be optimum for heat dispersion to stand the thing up. And I think that's probably the idea of making it taller than it is wide, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just sort of guessing there.
No, well, that's my theory as well. That one of the reasons with it being big is so there is room for heat dispersion.
Well, the thing might be half empty. Like, because you remember the Xbox One, the original, if you open one of them up, there is like a lot of nothing in there. And that was, I think they're shitting themselves because of the 360 issues, which they then eventually worked out and got it right with the S and the X. But that may be PlayStation 5. They were probably worried about their fans being too loud, because that was one of the biggest complaints, is that they just sound like jets. And so that thing may be predominantly empty inside. So no doubt there will be a PlayStation 5S or whatever they want to call it, which will be a lot smaller.
It also gives them room for the mid-cycle shrink down.
Yeah, that's right, which they've done every single generation.
Exactly. Yep.
So look, I'm not terribly fussed by some of the things that are questionable on it. I don't think it looks very good laying down. I'll definitely stand mine up, but I don't have issue with that. I think it looks great.
Mm-hmm. I was very excited to the point where I was actually streaming the reveal, and 7 o'clock in the morning when it was actually revealed. After that, I went outside with my wife and little ones, and they were something exciting got revealed, I'm guessing. And so I may have cheered a little bit, because it, like you said, mate, it's a bold decision. It's something that I wanted to see, something cool. This isn't just a conservative box that they want to fit in on your entertainment unit. This is a flashy piece of kit that they want you to sort of display with pride. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I like it. Sure. And I've always toted myself as a gamer, not a fanboy. I go where the games are. I do have preferences. At the moment, I prefer the Xbox because of all of the features, the backwards compatibility, the value with Game Pass Ultimate, all of that stuff. So I'm looking more over at the Series X. But it doesn't mean that I'm blindly looking at the PS5 and going, that's shit. It's no good. Let's move on. I think they're both fantastic, and I like the design. Exactly. So. No worries. Well, let's talk about some of the games that were revealed, shall we?
Oh, GTA 5 was announced.
Fuck. I was just going to skim over that.
We still can't.
It's trying to break a record, isn't it? 3 generations? Donk.
Yeah. When it come up, like it really is a showing of the longevity of the title. And yay, like I can jump online and play GTA 5, online, even if I've never played it before. When you get a PS5, you can jump online and it comes with the PS5. I don't care. I've played enough of it. Why? I thought they were going to announce 6.
No, they didn't.
And they didn't.
Fuck. Don't look at the chat. Let's keep going.
No,
anyway, GTA 5 is going to be there.
Well, let's start with some of the third-party stuff that was shown off. So there was a lot of games. I think it was 18 or something in total. I haven't counted. Anyway, there was a few games that were shown off. Some of the third-party stuff. So we got NBA 2K21. It was very basic information that was shown. It looked pretty.
It was a cutscene. It wasn't even gameplay.
It was nothing exciting there. Solar Ash.
Oh, yeah, Solar Ash. Oh, yeah, I've got that here. What was that one? I don't even remember that one. What was it?
I think that was the one that was the space person, the spacesuit walking around.
Oh, is that the one that I thought was Dead Space 4?
Yes.
Because he kind of has a Dead Space helmet on.
Yeah.
But then it turned out it wasn't. Yes. And I was disappointed and then stopped caring.
You've got Stray.
Now that one looked cool. I didn't actually realise, I didn't even notice the cat in the trailer until the title screen come up saying Stray. And I'm like, I was looking at the robots. I was like, ooh, robots, this looks cool. And then, yeah, I didn't actually notice that the cat was in every scene. But yeah, I'm assuming you play as that beautifully rendered cat. And didn't I just say last week, is there even a game with cats in it? Didn't I say that?
Bethesda have been listening to you, mate.
Yeah, we're talking
the cat
about...
version of what was that game that you guys love but can't... What's that stupid Kojima game that I can't think of the name of now?
Death Stranding?
Death Stranding. It's the cat version of Death Stranding. You're a delivery cat. You're a delivery cat in a world that is run by robots now. The humans are all gone.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's
There you
weird.
go.
Looking for love.
Yeah, cat Stranding.
But yeah, that looked cool. I like the look of that thing.
Oh, no, sorry. That's Stray is Annapurna Interactive.
Blue 12 and Annapurna, yep.
Yeah, Annapurna and Blue
So is that an
12.
Aussie game then?
Is it?
I believe it is, yeah.
Because Annapurna is a Aussie production company.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then we've got a couple from Bethesda. Ghostwire Tokyo. I think I've heard you guys talking about this one.
Yeah, that was
not me.
No, my
Yeah, it was-
just Greg.
No, I'm pretty sure we saw it. It was a couple of months back. It popped up. It was very, very loose on what it was. This is the one where it's like people disappear. Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
It is?
Yeah, it's the one where you've got to investigate why people are disappearing. Like
I don't know.
it's kind of like the
video that
rapture
they
happened
showed-
and half people have gone. And anyway,
I think so.
keep going.
Anyway, what they showed, I wasn't interested in. Deathloop, another one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bit meh for my liking. I'm sure lots of people will be out there. The way that it looked and the style of it, it looked very what do they call it, grindhouse?
Yeah. You're going through all the ones that I didn't even look at because I don't know what
Skip
that
through.
one is.
All right. Anyway, Resident Evil. If either of you have anything on these ones, just jump in. Resident Evil Village.
Yes. Now,
you
interesting
were talking
title. 100% they went with Village just because they can make the Roman numeral 8 out of the VII.
Totally.
VIL.
That was a great reveal. That was a masterclass in screwing with people. That was really good.
It looks great. It looks like a direct sequel, or not a direct sequel, but along the lines of 7, where it's first person, gritty, scary game.
Yeah.
So
It looks like it's gone more sort of mythical stuff as well, because there seems to be vampires, werewolves,
yeah.
that sort of stuff in it. There's been a few things that I've posted up, and I haven't watched the trailer again, but it's Chris Redfield in the Resident Evil games, isn't it?
He is a Resident Evil character, yeah.
Apparently, the big fella at the end of the trailer is Chris Redfield.
Oh, okay.
And someone says, Chris, you're right. And then all these people have been putting up these memes of Chris Redfield as a very slimmed down and cut soldier. And then now he's looking a bit, well, padded. And then the bit underneath of it is, Chris, you're all right. So it's kind of like he's gotten a bit older, a bit slower, a bit bigger, and, yeah, still going along with, destroying what's going on. But more of that to come. That's, of course, from Capcom. Kena, Bridge of the Spirits. I kind of remember a bit of this one from Ember Lab.
Oh, I think I remember that one. Let me just quickly look it up. Wait, how do I spell it? Kena.
Kena.
Kena, Bridge of Spirits. Let me see if it's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that looked really good. This looks like something I would really enjoy. It's got real, brilliant lighting, awesome graphics with some sort of like cartoony styled characters. And it looks like an adventure, sort of like a Legend of Zelda kind of game.
Yeah,
I don't know if that is what it's like, but that's kind of what it sort of gave me the feel for, a little bit of hack and slashy, which looks really cool. So, yeah, I'm keen for that one. That's a good one.
Beautiful. Next, that was from Ember Lab, of course. Next one from Gearbox Publishing, Godfall. Now, I've been hearing lots of things that Godfall was going to be this massive title. I was not impressed.
Nah, I mean, I didn't really think too much about it. Just looked like I heard that it's like a hack and slash Destiny 2 is how I've heard it being described. I mean, it may be good. I might like it, but it didn't really, catch my attention too much anyway.
Looks like it's from Tencent mobile game.
You know what? He's not wrong. I kind of agree with that, with what Nick said. Looks like a Tencent mobile game. It didn't look all that fancy, but It's early days.
It's early days. We're not getting a lot of information about them. The Tribes of Midgard from Gearbox and Norsefell. Don't remember that one. No one else. All right, cool. We'll have a look at it. I've got a whole lot of assets and whatnot to go through, so we'll get some stuff and get them up. Goodbye, Volcano High.
No, thank you.
I know there is a market for these types of games out there, but for a reveal.
No, there's that market's getting bigger, mate. So,
well,
it's not your market. I don't have a problem with that. But
no, I know.
The high school furries, they love it.
If you've got a problem with suitability for a reveal, what about Bug Snack?
Yeah, that's last on this list. All right, we'll get to that. I'm gonna I wasn't even gonna say it. I was just gonna skim over that one. Oddworld Soulstorm. I love me some Oddworld, so that looks pretty awesome, actually.
That's a game I love to hate. Love it.
Oh, I love
fuck that game.
I think most of my time in Oddworld games recently have been me just making Abe fart. So here we go. We'll go again in full 4K, hopefully. From Square Enix, we've got Athea. This actually looked kind of cool. This was the one where she was jumping across the top of the...
Project Athea.
Yeah, Project Athea.
Yes.
Yes, yep. It's technically a working title.
Yep.
So that definitely looks pretty cool. Jet the Far Shore from Super Brothers. I don't remember that one.
No, Jet the Far Shore. Let me have a look at what that one is. What list are you working off? I don't remember that at all.
No, neither do I. This is actually a list that was given to us.
No, that wasn't even on the reveal.
Well, I have assets for it.
Snoogs has got shit that he's probably not meant to be mentioning.
That's the next one.
Dear.
Hold on, let me have a look.
Actually, I've got it on my list as well. It must have been. That was how good it was. I tuned out.
Yeah, this is that one that was it was kind of chromatic in the video. It was weird.
Okay. What's the next one?
It was weird. Next one's that stupid bug thing. That was...
Oh, Bug Snacks. Yeah, rubbish. Okay, good.
Not even sure what it is.
There's kids' games on there too. Awesome. It's from the creator of Octodad. I think that was what they wanted to say because Octodad was fancy indie game. But yeah, no. All right, let's move on. It's probably going to play in 4K 60, so good for them.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, and might need a bit of weed to go with it. Astro's Playroom. Another Astro game. We wheel the controller and listen to the robots fly around inside it.
Looks good. Is that the one? Is that the one where it's like a full 3D game? Oh no, I'm thinking of the Little Big Planet one.
Yeah, that's different. So this is another little robots playroom type thing. So that's cool. Demon's Souls, the remake. That looks mint.
Yeah, you have fun with that one.
I'm not playing it. I'm agreeing. It looks mint.
Well, look at that. Look, see, Skrill is ready. So maybe he can review it for us. It looks brilliant. It does look absolutely gorgeous. And you know, I understand the Demons games, but nope.
I haven't hit that level of masochism.
I think it was Dark Souls 3. I got to go down and got to go and play Dark Souls. I was very lucky to go and have a crack at it before anyone else. And when I actually finished the demo, people in the room actually clapped and congratulated me. That's how many times I died. It was like, oh yeah, he's finally done. Yeah, get out. Let someone else have a go.
I actually watched the unedited video of that.
Yes. It was woeful. Absolutely woeful. Next one is one that has me quite excited. Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah.
You're excited for that, aren't you?
It's pretty.
Of course I am.
Even after Sport and 6 and 5?
But Sport. I know where you're going. 5 and 6 were okay. Sport.
Mine's still installing. I haven't played it yet.
Well, you'll be right now. You've got your terabit plan or gigabit.
No, it wasn't the downloads. That thing just took ages to install off the disc. That was what was that one? That was 5, I think. That took
That was 5, yeah.
Ages to install. Gran Turismo was a big thing for me back in the Gran Turismo 1, 2, and 3. As far as I'm concerned, they've been dead to me since. I think they are garbage. But there we go.
I've got my steering wheel. I still throw sport on every now and again. Of course, I'm not competitive at all with the online stuff, but hey, it's a bit of fun. And occasionally I'll jump in there and enjoy it. And Gran Turismo, one thing I will say about the video for 7, it sounds the same. One thing that the Gran Turismo and Sport did, a lot of the engine noise were very samey.
Well, they were just, and it's one of those things that people complain about. They didn't get it right. They were just no.
And something like Forza got it right, and they got it right very well.
Yep.
Forza, as far as I'm concerned, has always gotten it right. I don't think they've put a foot wrong. I think all of their games are great, and now with the addition of Horizon series, it even panders to those who prefer a bit more of an arcadey feel, which is me. I prefer the Horizon, but if I was going to play the simulator style, I'd be going Forza any day.
No, that's fair enough. The next title on the list is Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes, now we're talking.
Now we're in the meat of it.
Yeah, but it's something that people still can't come to grips with. The game's name is Horizon. The game isn't called Horizon Zero Dawn. Zero Dawn was the first game, and this one is Forbidden West. But yeah, so a lot of people are calling it Horizon Zero Dawn 2. That's not right. It's Horizon is the name of the game. It's weird.
It's Horizon 2.
It's Horizon 2. That's right. Horizon 2 Forbidden West, essentially. But yeah, a lot of people are getting that wrong, and I fuck up a lot, and people point that out. And if I'm the first person to jump on mistakes myself, and you guys are quite well aware of that.
Oh, but yeah, we've picked it up occasionally.
Yeah. Editing Lucas, not like he's more of an arsehole than I am, but yeah, so that's a little bit of trivia for you.
To think about it. So that looked, absolutely stunning as the first title did, and looks to be a bit of a cool story. I can't wait to hear a bit more about that. Sackboy's Big Adventure.
Yes, I'm keen on that one. I always liked the Little Big Planet games, and this one is expanding on that and making it a full 3D adventure. So if you aren't aware, the original games from Media Molecule with Sackboy were on like a 2.5D platform where you could move up and down 3 linear lanes, so to speak, right? This one is just going to be full 3D. You can just go anywhere in the 3D world. I like that. So kind of like your Mario games and Ratchet and Clank and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of like that. And hopefully it's a nice little collectathon with all the shit and the bubbles that you pick up, and it'll be fun. And I don't know if it'll be interesting if they do like a level editor so you can create your own levels and play other people's levels like you could do with Little Big Planet. That'd be nice if they did that, because as far as I'm concerned, most games like this should have level creators, because it's essentially unlimited DLC for anyone that can't create their own stuff like me. Once you finish the game, you've got an unlimited amount of stuff that you can just download from other people's user-created content. It's an endless well of content for your fans. So it's a easy one.
Jump on Dreams with the kids and
just
go
like
through
that.
And find something else to have a go with. One of the big things with Sackboy that looks a lot of fun too is looks like it's four-player co-op.
Oh yeah, nice. Hopefully the servers are good though, because in the past, Little Big Planet playing online with friends, garbage. The servers were crap for some reason. Yeah, you couldn't hold it. Like the pings were like way too high. But anyway, maybe that's changed.
Hopefully that's changed because the world is getting smaller. The last 2 titles, we've got, there was lots of cheers heard around the world for both of these titles. So, of course, we've got Spider-Man Miles Morales. The guys over at Insomniac have come out and actually confirmed, even though so many people were bitching saying it was just an add-on for the Spider-Man game, it is a standalone title.
Yes, akin to First Light, which is the standalone for Infamous Second Son, and also like the Uncharted, what was that one called?
Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy, yeah, like that. So it's its own game, but it is sort of same engine
within the world.
within the world, yeah. So
yeah, because there'll be part because the way that I see it is it'll be a bit of a collaboration between Miles and Peter, and Peter finds out that Miles has got the same sort of abilities, and then it'll be Miles' story and how that.
Yeah, I can imagine that this one will be like a passing of the torch, so to speak, and then eventually when Spider-Man 2 comes out, you'll probably just play as Miles.
Yeah, so that'll be good. I'm really looking forward to that. I love Spider-Man. That was an awesome title.
That was a good game.
The last one is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah, it looks good. It's a bit of a tech demo for the PS5.
I think it was very much a tech demo.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Especially with the movement of the rifts and how that works.
Yeah,
that looked like it would turn into an absolute shit fight.
It's a hey, look how quickly we can load new areas.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have said exactly the same thing, and it looks cool. Ratchet and Clank, I've never gotten into the games. Have either of you?
Oh, look, no. I have played them, but I've never really gotten to the point where I don't think I've even really finished. Dabbled. Yeah, look, I'll get into this Rift Apart in 2025 when it's a PS Plus title.
How about yourself, Greg? Was it up your alley?
No. Look, they kind of came out. I was past playing those types of games by the time that game came out. I was too old. I just didn't give a fuck. I was more interested in other games. But my wife, those were the kinds of games she was playing at that time. So she was probably more Banjo Kazooie, or Croc, but she would have been those kinds of games.
Did you say Croc?
Oh,
I thought you were letting us into a little bit of Secret Underworld or your missus there. I was going to say, dude, come on, man. Anyway.
Well, it does, Jay. Kablamo! Whip, whoop, boom!
Well, if
anyway, that's it for the games.
No, it's not. I got a couple I want to mention that you didn't mention. Don't forget the Rocket League Destruction Derby game called Destruction All-Stars. That looks cool, man. I'll take that. Thank you.
I haven't got that on this list.
Yeah, Destruction All-Stars was showed. It basically looked like an arena racy car game where you could chop other cars in half with all these cool weapons and stuff. That was a cool game. I like the look of that one. And another game...
get out of the car and run around.
You can actually get out of your car. That's right. Yeah, that was really cool.
It's online multiplayer too.
Yeah, I think that's what it'll predominantly be, Rocket League.
It's their new multiplayer game. I think that's we can make them.
But then there was another one as well by Housemarque. Now, funny that they had a game there. I mentioned Resogun earlier. Housemarque made Resogun. Returnal was another game as well, and apparently it's like a roguelike game where you will play through the same area until you get whatever you need to do right. This is how I've had it explained. Wow. And it sounds really cool. So say you go, let's just say you got a level, right? Level 1. You go through, you kill people, you get to the end of the level, but you haven't done the particular thing that you need to do. You go back to the start again and do it again, and you need to do it right. I don't know exactly what that means, but that is intriguing for me. Some people might be
like a sequencing thing, puzzle you've got to work out.
Yeah, and you've got to do them right, and it sounds like it could be infuriating or it could be really interesting. I don't know, but that was the other one I wanted to mention. Okay. That's it for me.
Greg, anything else from you, mate?
No, man. I think we've covered all the bases. They look good.
All right. Sweet. Yeah, well, that was the PS5 reveal last week. And next month we've got Xboxes lined up and more to come. I'm sure. I'm hoping this is the floodgates. It's going to all start coming out now. Who knows? But Greg, take it away. The PC show, which was the digital E3 showing, I suppose.
Yeah, the digital PC section. So it was a fairly exhaustive list, but I just picked some main pointers to talk about. So Torchlight 3 was shown, which is an action RPG. They also said it's now available on Steam, so it was one of those, hey, look, here it is. Now you can go buy it. They showed Rocketworks' new game, who are the people behind DayZ. They've got a game called Icarus. It's a first-person survival game with building elements, aliens, co-op, and that'll be available next year. Evil Genius, there's 2 gameplay was shown. That looks bizarro mondo cool. It looks like a weird fun game. Then Humble Games had 4 games to show. So there was Proteus, which is a retro shooter, sort of pixel sort of game, which has the ability to sort of level create and content share. It seems like it's very geared around that idea of here's some basic levels, now you make your own and share them. There was Fae Tactics, FAE Tactics, which is you'll love this one, Luke. It's a pixel turn-based tactics game, kind of a bit like Final Fantasy Tactics.
So when you say I'll like it, you actually mean I'll think it's shit.
Yeah. No, I was being cynical.
Okay, cool.
That'll be available on the Switch in, I assume, American summer 2020. So, yeah, end of the year. Another one they had was called Project Wingman, which looked pretty awesome. It's a dogfight game, so very much like Ace Combat. With VR support, and that will be out in summer 20. The last game they had was called Kato, and it's described as a chill survival game, which will be available in the fall or our spring. One that I saw and went, are you kidding me? Is that actually a thing? Shadow Man is getting a remaster.
Oh, I remember that game.
Yeah.
So it's getting remastered.
Yeah, so remastered. So the only thing they had to show was like alpha footage, and it just at the moment it looks like a just very smoothed over version of the game. Like it's not groundbreakingly better than what it was. It looks a little bit like it's running a little bit smoother than it possibly did previously, but at the moment, who knows? It's a bit up in the air. But it's being done by Night Dive, who have been pumping out a couple of games of late, and I'm just trying to remember which ones they were. I was going to look them up, but I forgot. Anyway, I think there's a couple of like indie horror games that they've been doing of late, or some. I can't remember. Anyway, keep an eye out for that one. It should be interesting where that goes. Mafia Definitive Edition is getting a ground-up rebuild, so if you liked Mafia, that's good. And another game by Don't Nod Entertainment, which did Life is Strange. They've got a new game out called Twin Mirror. Look, it looks interesting. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know whether it's another supernatural kind of, but it seems like a mystery thriller kind of thing. And I get the feeling it might be a co-op game by the name, and there was sort of this allusion to it towards the end of the trailer. They made a very poignant phrase. In the character says a very poignant phrase, which is, whatever you're here to do, you won't do it alone. So I'm going to suggest that maybe it's a co-op game, a bit like that jail one that I can't think of the name of right now. But yeah, so that's the highlight reel.
Yeah, okay. This one actually looks pretty good. I'm looking at it now. Twin Mirror. That's coming to PS4 as well this year. That's that actually looks pretty good. It from the little blurb that I've just read here, it kind of sounds a lot like they've taken some inspiration from, what was the other game you said that they made?
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. Yeah, because there's sort of like, what did they mention? Here it is. I found it. All right, editing Lucas.
Oh, you found it up. See? Right, cool.
Recall your memories and find the truth by exploring the dark undertones of a small town in West Virginia. So it'll be, probably playing with memories and stuff. I don't know. But Twin Mirror, happy days. Looks good.
Oh, good stuff. All right. The KF console. You boys heard about this?
KF?
Yeah, the KF console.
KFC.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is.
KFC.
Is it
KFC Gaming? Good? KFC Gaming. The future of gaming is here. Introducing the KF console. #power your hunger. So,
good stuff.
Over on the KFC Gaming Twitter page, yes, there is something called @KFC Gaming.
What?
They have released a video, and this video is exceptionally well done, and it looks right. It looks good. Probably smells good too. But if you were to picture a KFC bucket, right? That KFC bucket, it blacks out and gives it like a console sort of look with a disk drive in the bottom, claiming 4K gaming at 120 frames per second, and all this sounds legitimate until you can open up the front and it's got a chicken warming tray as well.
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
Are they just jumping on the bandwagon of the hype for consoles at the moment?
I got no idea, but good on them.
Totally.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that is good.
So I've just popped a link to it in the chat.
How
Anyone in the
your
chat?
hunger- Oh, man, the
gotta watch
power
it.
of advertising. I want KFC now.
Exactly.
Oh, man,
Wow.
I'm so impressionable. I don't even like KFC.
There's a post underneath. They put another post that says, "So which is it going to be?" And they've got a picture of the Series X, the PS5, and the KFC. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, equipped with a chicken chamber and cross-platform compatibility. It's an absolute brilliant thing. So get over and check it out. Give them a like. I like it. It's very well done. All right, last bit of news, guys. JB Hi-Fi. We all love, the very talented people that they seem to find to work at JB Hi-Fi, and we all love the little, reviews that they put up, the store displays and whatnot. But it's gone a little bit too far this week with a store in Brisbane who've redone The Last of Us and renamed it A Very Angry Lesbian.
Well, it's not wrong.
It's also not right.
No.
It's really not right. Yeah, Wraith's just put it up in the chat. Look, it's been around everywhere. It was apparently originally a meme online that someone's made, but then they've used it as part of this, this shop front display. So
Have they put it up, or has a sneaky bloody customer gone and just stuck that on top?
who knows? In this
Who
day and
knows?
age, who knows?
With what they have done in the past at JB, yeah, we don't know. Like, that could well be somebody from there putting it up. But I don't know. I wouldn't be too surprised if it wasn't a smart ass customer that just slapped that on. Wraith says a legend is responsible. It's funny, but I can see certain people cracking the shits about that.
Totally.
Oh dear.
No, if that's legit, someone's losing their job right now. They're not getting out of it without losing it.
Yeah, probably. But well.
I don't know. Like a few people have really taken objection to it. Locally, Press Start and was it Steve Iver?
Oh, Steve Iver.
Steve Iver, yeah. So they've sort of gone and gone off on the bandwagon with that and off on tangents. But someone's been a dick. Someone's really, going to cause a lot of grief with it. And I left this to last because I'm too tired to go on my rant. So good stuff.
For me, I think it's fucking hilarious, but I wouldn't have done it. I like my testicles where they are, but yeah, I've got the sense of humour to laugh at that. But then again,
I can laugh at it, and I can also know that it's not the right thing to do, especially not fucking now. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Could you have picked a worse time to do it?
well, I mean, I don't know. I might need to cut this out later, but if we get an angry lesbian riot, we might get another indie game bundle.
And that's it for news this week.
That's it for this game show. We have finally killed it.
Editing, Lucas, get rid of that, will you?
I'm going to stop him. No, that's staying in.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's it from me anyway, guys. For news-wise this week, anything else anything else popped in your head as we've been chatting along?
Nah, I'm just thinking people that take exception to what I just said there probably aren't listening this far into the show anyway. We've probably already upset them earlier.
I reckon we might have.
Nah, the ones that sit here and write notes so they can properly crucify us.
Those ones.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'll look forward to seeing someone who properly crucifies something and rather just goes off half-cocked.
Good luck, because that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to yell about something. Anyway, on to last words. I want to give a quick shout out to the peeps that are listening over in the live chat. We've got Atan, Azrael, Radicus, Skrill, and the Wraith. Thank you for hanging around with us all the way through. I believe Kaza was here, and also I think Trish jumped in as well for a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, I think they both got offended.
Yep.
Any other last words, boys?
I'm seriously thinking, no, it's probably not gaming related, but I suppose this is the right place for it. I think I might get one of them drones tomorrow. Thinking about getting that.
One of them drones.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I've been talking about it in the Discord chat thingy. A Mavic Air 2, I think it's called. And I think I'm going to justify it by saying that, my daughter's having she's gone to the hospital tomorrow and she's having like a procedure done, like a test, and which is particularly upsetting because it hurts. I might be able to sell this as it'll give something it's for Emily to look at, look forward to, I should say, afterwards.
Yeah. When's it my turn, Dad? When you're 21.
No, well, that's the thing. These things are so stupidly easy to fly. I reckon she'll be all right with it. So I'm thinking about doing that. What else? Other things are coming up. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. My internet's still really fast. I like downloading things quickly. Yeah.
God. Yep.
When I was watching some porn earlier today, the buffer, you watch the buffer, it just flies across. So I can skip to all the cool bits without it having to load, because it's loaded the whole video.
My internet's so fast, the money shot I was still dressed.
So yeah, that's really cool. Atan built his computer last night or something.
Yes.
Which was really cool. So he brought all the parts over. Atan wanted a computer. He doesn't know anything about them. So I gave him a list of parts to buy. He bought them, brought them over, and we built it yesterday. And I was really pleased that when we turned the power on, nothing blew up.
No smoke.
It posted first go. There was a little bit of an issue with getting the USB hard drive to be recognised to install Windows, but I literally just plugged it into a different port and it recognised, loaded up Windows, installed Windows 10, and away we went. It actually went really well, to the point where he then went home and played games with us on PC last night. So, Atan, welcome to the Master Race, buddy.
Awesome. Anything from you, Greg?
No, not really. I'm happy. Hope everyone else is happy. If you're not,
happy.
get happy.
If you're not, don't put a smile up. Come on.
Yeah.
That's how to do it. All right. Well, no last words from me except for the usual Aussie Gamers TV and Snooger Vision over on Twitch. Make sure you go and say good day and hit that follow button. And Grejio XBL on Instagram. Hit the follow button for Greg and his Instas.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, boys, that's it. Let's close it up, eh? Thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. Don't forget to continue any of the topics we've discussed on the show over in our Discord channel. While you're at it, hit up our website, www.theagexp.com. Links to everything, as always, are in the podcast show notes and description. That's all from me. As always, I've been Snoogs.
I've been Lucas.
And I have been Grejio.
See us.
Bye-bye, dude.
Well, that's the end of another show, and if you're still listening to this part of the show, then know this: we love you. Come and join our exclusive Agents of Age group on Discord using the link in the description. Just join the server and say hi, quoting "May the Age be with you," and you will be added as an Agent of Age. Subscribe to this podcast using the links that are in the description for your convenience. Thanks again, we love you lots. See you next time on the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience.